Over the last few weeks, as I've taken the dogs for their walks, Bandit, the young puppy, has become increasingly playful with Luna in particular, because Luna and her most often are together going for the walk, whereas Zoe's up running ahead usually. And what she likes to do is race in and touch Luna's tail. That's become the big game that she likes to play. Now, it may look like Luna is being very exasperated and tired out. I just want to let everyone know that this usually only goes on for a few minutes during each walk, and then she gets tired of it and starts looking at other things. So it's just interesting to see how she's honing her blue heeler skills. If you're not familiar with blue heelers or Australian cattle dogs, they're called heelers because in the cattle industry or the sheep farming industry, these dogs can be used quite effectively for herding, and what they like to do is go in and nip at the heels of these animals to keep them in check, to keep them running together or to move them into different paddocks and things like that. And you can see the strong instinct that Bandit has here as she'll race in behind Luna and nip at the heels, and sometimes Luna will catch her as she just did there and put her in her place, sometimes giving her a little nip, not usually much of a bite, but usually a nip and a push into the snowbank. This was taken when we had snow on the ground still, obviously. But it's been fun to watch, and I make sure this doesn't go on for too long because Luna does have diminishing sight. But I actually think she's enjoying this to a degree. It may not look like it, but I think she actually enjoys putting her in her place quite frequently, where Bandit gets a little careless, and Luna still has very quick reaction times, even though the young pup is obviously very agile, and it's amazing how agile she is. I'll put a few of these clips into slow motion, perhaps too, and just illustrate the ability that she has to maneuver and change direction on a dime, that kind of thing. Getting increasing speed all the time. She's just over 6 months old now. Actually, she was probably younger than 6 months when this video was taken. But she's developing a lot of maneuverability and quick change speed and that kind of thing. So it's just interesting to watch the skill set develop very quickly. Her back thighs have also increased in size a lot over the last month and a half or so. They were quite thin and fairly weak to begin with, and now she's developing quite a lot of muscle in that area. She does a lot of standing on her hind legs too, which is something I've never had any dog of mine do. She likes to run along falling down tree trunks and climb up rocks. She's very agile that way. And this demonstrates the speed she already had at this time, which is about a month ago or more now. She can just whip around very quickly. I suspect as she matures even further, she will become even more agile and speedy. We're actually thinking seriously about getting her into agility. We had Luna in agility for a little while, until such point as she seemed to lose a bit of interest in it. I think it was hard for her because she couldn't hear. She's been deaf since birth, and this was still when she was young though, and she could see well, but I think just having that lack of hearing really made it difficult for her, obviously. We weren't expecting her to become a great agility expert or anything. She did fine at it, but I think she was just not getting quite out of it what a typical dog with all its senses would get. So we eventually got her out of that after about a year and a half or so, a couple of years maybe. All right, let's watch a few clips in slow motion. Just notice her detailed footwork to always maintain a superior advantage in position, slipping by the sides, nipping at the tail, darting back and forth, always trying to maintain out of reach of the opponent. Very maneuverable. Now, obviously, Luna's a cattle dog also, but she's approaching 10 years old, so she's a little less maneuverable, and she has extra weight. Plus, she's got diminished eyesight and no hearing, so she's obviously at a significant disadvantage, but I do think she's enjoying this play with the young puppy to a degree. And if it ever looks like it's getting too much, I call the young one off, because she can get a little bit exasperating, I think. She's very persistent. But it's just fun to watch these in a slower motion type speed to see the detailed footwork and how she can maneuver her legs to attain different angles around the dog, and just the speed she has when she wants to go. Such as in this clip here, she just gets excited and takes off, feeling good as a young pup, I guess, and running on the hard packed snow. She could really get up to speed. Up to this point in the winter, a lot of the deep snow we had was very fluffy and powdery, and none of the dogs could run through it. We had to stick tightly to the paths, but during this cold spell here, the surface froze up and the dogs were enjoying running on it, especially the puppy. Little speed demon. Just enjoying being alive. Yeehaw. At this point, she weighed about 25 pounds, I think. And today she's around 26 and a half.